Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is an ARL V39. It's a Tier 6 French tank destroyer. It's located on the south spawn of Karelia and it's under the command of Elirox. Game started. Now I believe if he's using the top gun, which is the Tier 8 gun, he's actually carrying a 90mm, but he's not. He's actually carrying the 105mm derp gun. Okay, so this is going to be a derping contest. Now the derp gun can do 300 alpha, 360, sorry, got it wrong there. And with the standard AP rounds it does 300, that's right. And with APCR, well, 330, 223 penetration. Now this tank actually derives a lot from the Char B1, but it's not a Char B1 hull. It's actually just using parts made for the Char B1. As you can see, engine is at the back with the exhaust port, and it's got that huge machine gun turret on top, which is actually a massive weak spot. Okay, his first target's an ARL 44. Fires one in, but it doesn't connect. Now that machine gun port is actually quite a glaring weak spot, especially if you're trying to fight over a hill, because the first thing that pops up above the hill, above a ridge line, is the machine gun port and everyone shoots at it. So you don't really want to fight on a ridge line with this tank. To mention a bit about the history of this tank destroyer. Oh, there's the ARL again. He's popped out and just came into view momentarily. You can see fire rate's not bad, 7.59 seconds to reload, and now we've got a box tank up there. Oh, but he was killed very quickly. The KV-2 got him. Now the French army actually got their hands on this tank destroyer in 1939, or rather that's when they tested it. There was 2 prototypes and they approved it for manufacture. And they were going to build about 80 of them to start with. And the French factories that were going to produce it were gearing up, getting ready for production, when of course the war started. And at that point, obviously, they hadn't got everything ready. And when the fall of France came, they had actually moved the prototypes to Morocco for safety, but they lost them. And we don't know where they have gone since. Nobody knows where they've gone. So somewhere there might be a pair of ARL V39s somewhere, but we don't know. They could have been torn apart for scrap. Now although Elirox is actually firing the 105mm gun here, and he's firing at the bush where the enemy tank destroyer would normally be, this tank destroyer was never actually intended to carry anything more than 75mm gun, and it's an absolutely dreadful tank destroyer with a 75mm. In fact, it's such a painful stock grind that most people say you should save up some free XP and go straight through the 75mm gun without ever playing it, so you can get to the interesting guns, the 105mm, and then of course the 90mm guns, which are the top guns. Oh, fired that one a bit prematurely, pulled back. Now the gun traverse is only 35 degrees, so you don't really get much leeway in terms of being able to dial in on a target before you have to move the vehicle to adjust for a target that's moving across your field of view. Oh, an enemy Arty's been spotted. It's the MX-13 F3. We're dashing across trying to get up to the horseshoe. Looks like there's a couple of enemy tanks that have made it close to our cap area. A Jackson and a T-3485. Well, the T-3485's been wiped out. There's only 6 enemy tanks left, but 4 of them are heavy tanks. There's a KV-2. Okay, can we get shots? There's the Jackson. Can we get shots on him? And looks like somebody is capping. No shot on the Jackson yet. Oh, just for a moment we saw him. I think he went through. There's a gap between the rocks there. We can't see the KV2, but somebody is capping. I think it is the KV2. There's the Jackson. Good shot. 365. Oh, he's run into the wreck. Can we get another shot on him? We've lost sight of him. Oh, and he's hiding behind the wreck now. And now he's dead. Just caught the front of the vehicle. Okay, we're going to see if we can go down and get to... Oh, that's not the right way to drive it. And he has lost some hit points, some damage. But it looks like we've got a reset from the Cheetu. And now we're going to go after this KV2. So it's going to be a derp versus derp. Or derpy derp. Okay, as I was saying, fighting over a ridgeline, you don't want to expose that machine gun port, whatever you do, because that's the first thing they'll see as you come up over the rise. Oh, well, KV2's looking at us, but he's forgetting there's a Cheetu behind him. That's it, change position, use the bush for cover. KV2's can't come down. Now, can we get shots? Don't expose that machine gun port if you can help it. KV2's waiting for us to come up. He obviously wants to kill. And we're not giving him the opportunity at the moment. We've still got all our health. Bar that one hit point that we lost going over the cliff edge. The Cheetu is now going to town on that KV2. We put a round in, 330 hit points, and KV2 is dead. So it's 4 versus 4, but the enemy does have 3 heavy tanks. Their one sole tank destroyer is a Jagdpanzer IV. As far as we know, the enemy tanks are in the southwest passage, or southeast passage I should say, but one of them might have gone up onto the horseshoe, and I think that's why Elirox has decided to hide behind this bush for the moment. Tactically speaking, it probably would make sense to go to the enemy cap and force the enemy to return. And it looks like Elirox is going to do that. Okay, if he's far enough away, they won't see him as he goes past this point. Unless somebody's gone up onto the horseshoe. Oh, well, he's not intending to go to the enemy cap. He just wanted a better vantage point of the horseshoe. And there is the Jagdpanzer IV. He's behind a rock at the moment. He's out. There he is. And now he's dead. Bad mistake. KV85. He's in sight. And he came down to try and deal with our Cheetu, but... Oh, kill shot! 3 kills now for Elirox. There's only one enemy left. It's an M6. So going up onto this heights actually really did help him. He got some good shots in there, especially the Jagdpanzer IV, who stayed up on the horseshoe and didn't realise that he actually was side on to the V39, ARL V39. You can see that actually compared to the Char B1, ARL V39's actually got quite good speed. It was actually going to be manufactured by Samur, who obviously made some of the other tank destroyers, including the bathtub. And the bathtub was actually a post-war design, whereas this one was a pre-war design. But this is the tier 6 and the bathtub is the tier 5. Well, it looks like the M6 has retreated back to his cap for defensive purposes. So it could be that Elirox is going to be the one who comes across him. And there he is. Here we go. Auto aimed on. Puts his first round in. 345. But he did take a round for 119. Pops up again. Fires the next one in. 310. Oh, will this be a kill shot? Yes! Wins the game. 4 kills. And gets the fighter badge. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. And it's an ace tanker for Elirox in the ARL V39. He got a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He got 4, a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle, and he got the high caliber for dealing the most damage in that battle overall. And his win rate for the game was 8,058, which is Super Unicum standard. So let's have a look at team score. There you go, top of the table, 2,562 hit points of damage in that game. 2,059 went to that Chi-2 who was attacking the KV-2. And the next high score after that was actually T-3485, 1,840 for him. When it came to kills, again, Elirox shared the top with the Striv 74. So he's got the top of the table, but only just. I think he got that by virtue of his base XP, which is 1,071. So technically he's got the top in all 3 columns. 1,071 base experience points, 661 to the Striv, and 635. Actually, no. The T-3485 got slightly more, 649, beating the KV-85. Elirox fired 25 rounds of 105mm ammunition. He got 12 direct hits on the enemy and 9 penetrations. Damage of 2,562 hit points, of which 1,362 were at more than 300 meters. He received 4 hits, 3 were penetrations, 1 non-penetration, and he blocked damage of 115 hit points. He damaged 5 of the enemy, killed 4 of them, and managed to get 5 capture points whilst he was in the cap. On a premium count, he earned 44,039 credits, and after repair, ammunition resupply and consumables, he actually took away a loss of 22,944 credits, and that was because he did fire a fair bit of APCR during that game, the premium ammo. He did receive 1 bond, that was for the high caliber, and 1,606 XP, and there was no multiplier, so that's all the experience points he took away. But a very nice, secure ace tanker and high caliber for Elirox in the ARL V39. If you enjoyed that replay, please give it a like, do subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you get alerted when we put a new video up. Thanks for watching.